You think I feel bad because I'm black? No, no, no. That's your problem. That's your problem. I have never been sensitive about my complexion. You may be, but I haven't been. And being my color has never destroyed my self-respect. The problem of color is worldwide. It is found in Africa and Asia, Europe, and South America. I appeal to American Negroes, North, South, East, and West, to recognize our common problems and unite to solve them.
They may not like their culture or how they talk or how they look and all that.
There are times when I've certainly gotten comments about, oh, you're so articulate. And I'm almost sure that the underlying issue there is race.
I think that my culture is very deep. I would say, I would use the term deep, and close, and loyal.
Family is absolutely the most important foundation of culture. So, you know, family fellowship, strong family bonds are often associated with a strong and healthy culture. Families teach critical lessons. Family passes on heritage. Family is critically important. And even among those young people that come from single-parented households, this isn't true for everyone, but for many of the people that I've spoken with, that this idea that they're that they come from a single-parent household, it isn't factual. That, you know, actually parents don't parent alone, and so even a single parent is drawing on grandparents and good friends who become fake aunts and uncles and real aunts and uncles, and so extended family becomes a really important part of the African American experience, and it still is. It always has been, and what these young people are affirming is that extended family continues to be absolutely critical to the cultural experience. Culture is absolutely a politic of survival. The definition of a politic is that it's a set of strategies that people or a group of people use to advance themselves, right? And so when you look at it that way, culture is absolutely a politic. Culture teaches people how to navigate and deal with racism. Culture teaches people how to overcome and get through poverty. Culture teaches people how to make ragged ends meet. It was culture that taught us how to take leftover mess and scraps of food and transform that into soul food, right? So it's culture that teaches this ingenuity, this resilience that is so much a part of the African American experience. It's a much deeper thing.
The history piece of it, you know, blacks and white indigenous servants and African slaves were the same. They were similar or whatever. And it's when they began to see that there could be power in them uniting and uprising, that they began to strategically every year create laws to distinguish the black servant from the white servant.
Exactly.
And what it did was make white, poor white people think that they had something. Right. You know, at the least, I'm not the lowest person in society, so I'm not going to fight and struggle against society or whatever. So it's always been an issue of class, and it's still a class within our race, and it's still class without it.
There are certain privileges afforded to my white peers that I have never been granted, and because of that, I have to work a little bit harder to ascend.
It may be a figment of our imaginations. It may be kind of bred in us that we got to be 110, 120% more better than our counterparts, but we don't know. I mean, that we've been put in that position because most of our counterparts are the ones that are in power, are the ones that are employing you. So you do have that obligation to, or feel that obligation to do 110, 120 more.
Here, but as African American, if we try to, you know, put ourselves on the same level as all white people, of course, there's many of them who don't. They look at us, and even some of the lowest of them monetary wise, they look at us as if we're nobody. We'll never be good enough. So we can't be striving to be accepted by people just because. I mean, you just have to be you.
Initially, when I was in high school and I ran for student government president, and I was campaigning very hard, and this is my senior year of high school, and I was campaigning to some people that I knew, and one young lady said, "I'm going to win," and I was like, "You think so?" She was like, "Yeah, you're black." And that was the first time that someone equated my ethnicity with my potential success.
You're experiencing that in a country for 100 years. I don't see how you could have any hope or confidence that this same race that has been doing it is not going to continue to do it, only in a different way, with more 20th century or up-to-date or shrewd methods today than they had to use in the past.
But I think throughout time, I mean, you see various TV shows, stereotypes, commercials, and things like that that reinforce this constant angry black woman. She doesn't like white women. She's angry at the black man.
If I'm angry because you said something ignorant, can I just be angry and not be angry because I'm black?
We are a detriment to ourselves because I feel like a lot of the times we put the labels on ourselves that end up leading to the labels that other people perceive of us. And that's why you have to set your own parameters. You have to set your own litmus test of, and you have your own identity of what you are, your own sense of value. You determine your own fate, where you stand in society.
I taught a class on stereotypes, right? And so the thing with stereotypes is whether they're true or not is something that you can't shake. Regardless of who this woman is, how accomplished she is, she still can't shake the stereotype.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that were taught to us through, you know, the different slave masters or whatever, definitely, and they're things that have been assimilated into our culture. But I think for us, we have to take it upon ourselves not to continue to perpetuate it.
The perception about black people is almost probably the same as white people think of African American women. That they're lazy, that they're no good.
That's the diaspora. I think, you know, many cultures within Africa look at African Americans like that. I think within the Caribbean, we know that West Indians look at you know, some would look at African Americans like that. And like if you ever look at just the historic context, you know, people that have immigrated to the United States from many of those countries, one, they're coming with a little bit more money. It takes a lot of money to move to the United States, whatever. And people don't sacrifice all the money they have, all of their, you know, this effort and time to then come and be associated with the most oppressed people in that country. And that's what's framed all of this like separation across like West Indians from African Americans and Africans from African Americans, whatever.
To assimilate more into the white culture, it's thought to be it's better to assimilate into the white culture versus like, I mean, like you said, you don't want to come over here and be with the most oppressed, you know, culture, black people, whatever.
The plight, the struggle was oppressed people, right? Oppressed black people, right? Now, what are they? Are we oppressed black people or are we oppressed people?
Black people are not homogenous, right? So like when you have black folks with college degrees, their struggle is different a little bit than folks who don't. You see what I'm saying? Like there's an intersection of so many other identities that don't necessarily go into place. When people say the plight of the black community is not homogenous. Like it's not. There are issues that certainly affect us collectively, but we're not all affected in the same way.
But black people here in America, what do we have? Because what we have is another identity, not from where we came from, per se.
Yeah.
We have a whole nother identity, a whole nother structure that we're trying to now establish. Right. And that establishment goes back to what I said. When white people brought us over here, it was against they made it so we were against each other. They made those class structures and those
And we're following that.
And we follow them.
And follow it, but I'm saying you have to break that cycle. It's time. It took 400 years to create, you know, 400 years of slavery, and then, you know, how many more years of, you know, Jim Crow laws.
African Americans, like in their 70s, their sentiment is that integration was the decline of the black community. Because I know one of which was born in the first incorporated black town, where everything was black owned and black run. And he's just looking at where we are right now. He said it's just like we're so divided and broken up that he wishes that things were the way that they were 60, 70 years ago. In terms of the fight is still there. I think that things are more covert now, so it doesn't look the same, so it doesn't feel the same to people. And unfortunately, you know, when you go into a high school classroom right now, kids don't know anything about the civil rights movement. Right.
Oh gosh.
You know, and so when you omit history, you don't. All you have is right now with the present, and the present they're okay with that.
But you see, the civil rights movement was everything about blacks getting whatever freedom they had was always about money. It was it. When they were sanctioned to fight as soldiers, it was about money. It was not, oh, we can fight and we can uphold. No, white folks needed help.
Right.
So they was like, let's get these black brothers that want to fight. Let them fight. And if they got to be free, then we just got to free them now. But we need to win this war. That was it. And the same thing for the civil rights. It was money. You stop riding the buses, white folks start losing money. You got to give something to these black folks. That's it. Everything about our struggle has always been about money. As long as white folks understand that we are the buying power, we're the consumers, unfortunately. We're the consumers. They're going to give us avenues. They're going to appease us until we shut up for a little while. Then we get another struggle. They're going to appease us for a little while. And we keep doing it.
No, we are not satisfied, and we will not be satisfied until justice rolls down like waters and righteousness like a mighty stream. Let us not wallow in the valley of despair. I say to you today, my friend, so even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up, live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners, will they be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day even the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering with the heat of injustice, sweltering with the heat of oppression, be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream. My poor little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today.
I leave finally a responsibility to our young people. Right? Our young people. The world around us really belongs to youth, for youth will take over its future management. Right? Our children must never lose their zeal for building a better world. I mean, think about that today. Right? Must never lose their zeal for building a better world. They must not be discouraged from aspiring toward greatness. We could use that today. For they are to be the leaders of tomorrow. Nor must they forget that the masses of our people are still underprivileged, ill-housed, impoverished, and victimized by discrimination. We have a powerful potential in our youth, and we must have the courage to change old ideas and practices so we may direct power toward good ends. I leave you a desire to live harmoniously with your fellow man.